Before Jesus ever turned water into wine, before he ever healed a body or confronted a Pharisee, John wants you to know who he already was. Welcome back to By What Authority. I'm your host, Raymond Ibarra, and today's episode is titled, In the Beginning Was the Word. John doesn't start his gospel with a miracle or a moment or a need. He starts with a person. In the beginning was the Word. Before creation, before light, before time, before anything existed, the Word already was. John is not introducing Jesus as a teacher or a prophet or a miracle worker. He is introducing him as the eternal expression of God, the one through whom everything was made, the one who carries the mind, the will, the voice, and the nature of God Himself. And then he says something even more shocking. The Word was with God, and the Word was God, distinct yet divine, with God yet God. This is not poetry, this is identity. And then the Word became flesh. The eternal stepped into time. The invisible became visible. The Creator walked among His creation. God didn't send a message, He became the message. He didn't send a prophet, He became the revelation. He didn't shout from heaven, He stepped into human skin and lived among us. And John says, we beheld His glory, not the glory of a king on a throne, but the glory of a son full of grace and truth. Grace that receives you, truth that confronts you, grace that welcomes you, truth that transforms you. Jesus is not half grace and half truth. He is full of both at the same time. Then John introduces John the Baptist, not as a preacher, but as a witness. His entire assignment is to point, saying, I am not the light. I am not the Christ. I am not the prophet. I am not Elijah. I am a voice crying out, preparing the way, making the path straight. John is the last echo of the old covenant, pointing to the arrival of the new. And when Jesus walks toward him, John doesn't say, here is the miracle worker. He says, behold, the Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world. Before Jesus teaches, before he heals, before he calls a disciple, his identity is already established. He is the Lamb, the sacrifice, the substitute, the one who carries what humanity cannot carry. And then something subtle happens. John says, I did not know him, not because he didn't recognize Jesus physically, they were cousins, but because he didn't recognize him as the Lamb until the Spirit revealed it. John baptizes with water, but Jesus baptizes with the Spirit. John prepares the way, but Jesus is the way. John points to the light, but Jesus is the light. John decreases and Jesus increases. The entire chapter is a handoff from witness to word. Then the first disciples appear, and notice how they come. Not through miracles, not through signs, not through bread. They come through revelation. John points and they follow. Jesus turns and asks them the first question he ever speaks in this gospel. What are you seeking? Not what do you need? Not what do you want me to do? What are you seeking? Because following Jesus begins with desire, not desperation. They ask where he is staying, and he says, come and see. That's the invitation of John 1, not to understand everything, but to come and see. Andrew brings his brother Simon, and Jesus renames him on the spot. Before Peter ever preaches, before he ever fails, before he ever walks on water or denies Jesus or becomes a leader, Jesus speaks identity over him. You are Simon, but you shall be called Peter. Jesus doesn't respond to who you are, he speaks to who you will become. Then Philip finds Nathanael, and Nathanael is skeptical. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? And Philip doesn't argue. He repeats the same invitation, come and see. When Nathanael approaches, Jesus reveals that he saw him under the fig tree. A private moment, a hidden place, something no one else knew, and Nathanael instantly confesses, you are the Son of God. Jesus tells him, you believe because of that, you will see heaven open and angels ascending and descending on the Son of Man. Jesus is saying, I am the ladder Jacob saw. I am the connection between heaven and earth. I am the access point. I am the revelation. John 1 is not about what Jesus does, it's about who he is. Before the miracles, before the crowds, before the conflict, before the cross, John wants you to know what that Jesus is the eternal word, the true light, the Lamb of God, the Son of God, the one who reveals the Father, the one who gives the Spirit, the one who names you, the one who sees you, the one who invites you, and the one who connects heaven and earth. Everything that happens in the rest of the gospel flows from this chapter. If you don't understand who he is in John 1, you will misunderstand everything he does in John 2 through 21. The miracles make sense only when you know the word. The signs make sense only when you know the light. The cross makes sense only when you know the Lamb. And the resurrection makes sense only when you know the life. So let his voice define you this week. Let his light expose what's false. Let his truth steady your steps. And let his invitation, come and see, become the way you follow him today. This is By What Authority? And this episode, In the Beginning Was the Word, is your reminder that everything Jesus does in this gospel flows from who he already is. Walk in that truth. Let his presence shape your identity the way it shaped Peter, Nathanael, and every disciple who came and saw. Everything Jesus does flows from who he already is. Until next time, grace and peace.